Hello and welcome. Today I wanted to do a quick comparison between a couple of budget sabers that exist out on the market right now. Both of these are sabers that are made in China, I believe, but they're floating around, and so I figured I'd do a little bit of a head-to-head to show you how they relate to each other. The first one over here is a Pach Store Kyojin, or Tiny Giant. Now you see these things sold by YDD Sabers and Spartan Sabers, and actually Saberforge sells these as well and calls them Youngling Sabers, I believe. This one I've etched a little bit with some Batman stuff from my son and added a grip. They don't usually look like this, they're just all silver. But this is the Youngling, or the Tiny Giant, or the Kyojin. I did a review on this a little bit ago. I'll link that in the description here. And over here, I've got the Basic Series Saber from Kybers, which is an Amazon seller named Upstone. I think that's the primary way to get these. But Basic Series Kybers Saber. So, a couple of things about the head-to-head on these. First off, let me talk about price. The Kyojin is a little bit less expensive. Kyojin sabers cost about $60 before shipping. The shipping on these things from China is usually around $20. So you're looking at about an $80 saber, something in that neighborhood. Right here, the Kybers saber is a bit more expensive. These things are between $100 and $110. They're on Amazon though, and they do qualify for Prime, so there is no shipping cost on them. But you're looking at a difference of about $30, give or take, between these two models. And for a budget saber, cost is usually your biggest thing, so that's reasonably substantial. One of the other things about these is shipping. It takes a while to get one of these unless you pay more to get it from a domestic seller like Saberforge or Spartan. If you get it directly from Pach Store, it takes several weeks in order for this thing to get to you from overseas. This is Prime, so you get it in about 2 days if you can catch it when it's on Prime. So the shipping time on this is better. The cost is more expensive. The size profile on both of them is roughly the same. These sabers, actually, I weighed them, and they weigh the same exact amount to the ounce. I think it was like 4.8 ounces or something like that. They're both very light sabers. This one right here, about the design of it, you'll notice that on the Kyojin we have areas that sink in, and we've got sort of this more dynamic design with ridges, a sunken area for the button, a grip section down here, and tapers towards the end. We still have that angled emitter. With this one, we have the same angled emitter, but the design is more uniform, straight across. So the Kyojin has a slightly more interesting design. The weight profile on both of them is the same. The saber brightness on both of them is roughly equivalent as well. These are lower end LEDs, so they're not nearly as bright, well, they're not as bright as what you get in like a Vader's Vault saber. But again, they're a lot cheaper, and they're comparative. All things told, you will notice that it is not as bright as some of the higher end sabers. But if you have it out, it makes the same effect, really. So, Kyojin. Okay, these are both running solid green right now. Alright, both sound sabers, both use these 7/8 inch blades. The thing about the Kyojin is the Kyojin does have a wrap at the end to keep the tip, which is glued in from flying out. The Basic Series saber does not. Alright, so that's about the design. The features on them are vastly different though. The Kyojin has one LED in it, just whatever color you get. You can get the thing to flicker on a flash-on clash, but by and large you're just dealing with a solid green. At least in this one, or a solid red, or whatever it is that you get. You're also dealing with one sound font, so you're locked into how this saber sounds and what the color is of the blade. It does have a mute feature on this, so it's got that. The Kybers Basic Saber has, there's a review of this that I'll link to it so that you can see, but this one has 11 different colors. And some of the colors, like white, since white is a blend color, it'll come across as much brighter than a single color Kyojin. But you've got a red, green, blue, I believe it's a red, green, blue, white LED in here. So you've got color mixing, 11 different colors, and 3 sound fonts, as well as a mute. This thing also has a blade flicker, a blade pulse, volume levels, a flash on clash that's white as opposed to just a flicker of the same blade color. So the features on this are vastly improved over this. So by and large, I think you get your $30 worth of difference out of this thing. That's pretty much it here. Oh, one other thing about them. They both have in-hilt recharge, but the Kyojin saber has a push button, whereas the saber, or the Kybers basic saber, has an illuminated LED button. So when we turn this one on, the button actually lights up. When you turn this one on, the button does not light up. So by and large, what you get between these two, very similar products. This is the cheapest of the cheap for budget sabers, for something that's actually usable, actually has sound. This is the bottom line, or this is the bottom line. So that is always going to have a place in the market because of that fact. This is a very good next step up. If you have the extra $30 to spend and you'd like to actually get some premium features, this thing gives you an advanced look at some of those premium features, which are a lot of things that you get in sabers that cost at least twice this much, usually. So both very low price points. Hopefully this head-to-head has given you a little bit of an idea of what these two things offer. And if this has been of use, then I'll see you next time.